Father Tom Hurley is here. We love Father Tom. He's a good friend, has been for a long time. And he's real. He's authentic. He cares about you. And he plays golf. I mean, that's as good as it gets. That's a good package.
Oh, not very well, though.
No,
you know that. I was out with both of you. You know that.
It's not true. I've seen good shots from you, man.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun to play with.
Hey, serious question. What do we know about the Pope's health? I know you don't pick up the phone and call the hotline at the Vatican and go give it to me straight, but what do we know?
I swear I don't know anything.
Nothing more than what we've heard in the news.
Right, exactly. I saw something yesterday just in terms of his mobility seems to be really
not great,
struggling, and also some these respiratory things I guess he's having. So
yeah, he and
maybe Dr. Burke's got to go over there.
Yeah, Christmas Eve services. I know he was struggling, but he was able to do the majority of the service from the wheelchair. Yeah. Some of the stuff he couldn't do, but he wanted to be there, and he lit up around kids, which you always see. He's just such an important piece of the puzzle, and I know that sounds trite considering that the position of Pope is what it is, but I mean, it's scary. It's scary to think you could lose him, but we're all human, including the Pope.
He is. He's 87, but I'll tell you, I was in conversation with somebody several months ago, and I brought up the same thing in terms of, gosh, I wish this guy was like 20 years younger.
Yep.
In terms of, I wish we had elected him 20 years prior, because I do believe some great things would continue to happen, because I think he's that sharp. This person said to me, "Oh, don't sell him short. His mind is sharp as a tack.
Still strong. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. Good. He may not look great in terms of, being in the wheelchair or some respiratory things, but he's sharp."
Now, Andre and I are not Catholics, yet we're still allowed to live in Chicago. But you and I...
We're all cousins, though. We're all cousins.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
You and I, and Andre, I know you share this concern as well, as everybody does, I think, that has spirituality as a basis for their life. Not having people in church. You and I have talked about this on the podcast many times. We've done a couple episodes of a priest and a rabbi walk into a podcast. And we will tee that up again.
I was just with him the other day, Rabbi Evan.
He's a good man.
We were doing the baby naming baptisms.
Yeah, which is not a show on the WB.
No.
But what is your level of, based on where we were last summer to now, are we seeing any change in church attendance up or down?
Well, here's what I think, and what I have seen in the past now 3 weeks, 3 Sundays of Lent, is that I've seen an increase of people coming, and I think it's Lent.
Yeah.
And I think people have made a commitment to doing a little bit of renewal, a little spiritual renewal, especially during Lent. So that's what I've seen. I've seen a little uptick in the places where I help out.
Well, that wouldn't be hobby Christians. That would be folks that are at least making the effort. And I'm not knocking folks that show up at Christmas and Easter, but these are people who are making the extra effort.
Oh, I think so. Absolutely. I think they're being genuine. I think they're being sincere. I think they're looking to do something for themselves. I don't think it's just for them. Again, we get into this whole thing of Lent of, what am I going to give up? I'm going to give up the sweets, or I'm going to give up, some favorite, drink or something to eat. But I like the fact that people want to do something and like maybe re-engage with their faith life and maybe hit the pews,
I'm seeing a little more re-engaging from the younger people, at least in my family or my inner circle, is that I had a cousin, my second cousin got married in Florida a couple weeks ago. Beautiful wedding. They just wanted a destination wedding, which I know a lot of younger people do. Went to Sarasota. It was beautiful. They're married. They're back from their honeymoon. And now they're saying that, they're talking about having a family within the next couple of years. So they wanted to do their vows in a church, in the Greek church.
Nice.
Which is very cool. So they're thinking of that now, before the end of the year, because when they have kids, they want to baptize the kids. And then later on, she's Greek Orthodox, her husband's Catholic. But then later on, have their kids decide what religion they want to follow. But I think that's really cool. I'm seeing, just like I said, some of the re-engaging with the younger people and saying, yeah, you know what, we got married elsewhere, or at a restaurant, or at a hotel, a venue, but now we want to just have a smaller ceremony with vows in the church.
Oh, I'm seeing a lot of that too.
Yeah.
A total shift. I mean, from when I started 30 years ago, where it was all traditional, big weddings, 200 plus people, gathered in a church, to a wide variety of things. But I am seeing that, and I'm getting a lot of requests, particularly from a lot of our alums, which is nice. A lot of my Marist alums are calling me, and kids they either met when they were in high school or afterwards, whatever.
Right.
But they do want to do, they want me involved. They want the sacrament to be celebrated for their union, for their marriage. So I am seeing that,
That is
as
cool.
well.
I like that.
And again, wide variety. So I mean, they're not having, 300 of their closest
Sure.
friends and spending thousands of dollars, on a big church wedding, but they are having smaller ceremonies, and that's okay.
Right.
That's good.
You have been kind enough to pastor me in times of need. It is a primary role of anyone in your position through all those years at Old St. Pat's. It's not just Sundays and Wednesdays and confessions and weddings and funerals. It's being there for your congregation. What about pastoral burnout? What about the idea of having enough people to serve those who need it? It's a big topic.
It is. Boy, you really know how to throw it at me.
I want
here
the
at
light stuff
8
for
o'clock
you.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Let's start
man.
small.
Yeah. You're absolutely correct. I mean, when it comes to just our sheer numbers, at least from a Catholic perspective, and like here in Chicago, when it comes to the numbers of at least ordained clergy, we're not in a great position right now. You can't run an archdiocese like this and you're ordaining 5 guys and then 4 guys or 3 guys or whatever. It just, the numbers don't work out. Unfortunately, I look on the website and, we have some of our fellows, these retired fellows, have aged and sadly have gone home to God and they've died. And so, but our retired guys, they're what are keeping us afloat, And so, but it's a little nerve wracking. Yes. Especially when you may well be at a church by yourself in the days of old when there was probably 2 or 3 associates. That's just not happening these days.
How do they feel?
The one thing I just want to
go
say, I'm sorry, is just but I look at the great commitment of so many people. And that was the thing for me at Old St. Pat's, is that I had a great team. Yeah, I was the only full-time ordained on staff, but I had a great team and I had smart people around me. And they were pastoring.
Yeah.
And again, I give credit to, traditions like your own in the Lutheran, where you have youth pastors and you call them pastors. I did the same thing. I was like, you're the youth pastor. You're the music pastor.
Yeah.
And so we share in this together. Okay, I do the sacramental stuff because I'm ordained, but we pastor together. And that's the way I think we have to look at it.
I want to bring it full circle for this segment. That's one of my concerns about this particular Pope and him being around for a good long time to go, is he does have a sense of being able to bridge from the traditional Catholic values to the changes that need to be made. And the concern is anybody who might follow him, and obviously that day will someday come, are you going to have someone of the same mindset that won't take the church backwards? I'm hoping the Vatican has that kind of vision.
Well, again, looking at it strategically, and again, to use the P word, politically, I think that's kind of what Francis is kind of doing right now. At least this is one man's opinion, is that it looks like he's kind of trying to stack the deck in the College of Cardinals so that hopefully his successor will be one who will carry on, I believe, this vision that he has. And it's a vision of the Second Vatican Council. It's a vision of, we got to update. We got to be in touch with the signs of the times. And I think that's what Francis is about. He's made that clear. I think he's a great pastor. I think he's a great visionary. And I think he's trying to hope that, not hope. I think he's trying to prepare those who are the possible candidates who are in the College of Cardinals. I think he's trying to make sure that carries on.
Yeah.
Good text here from Cookie. I switched to doing nice things for others for Lent. One year I gave up Diet Coke. My family said if I ever do that again, I had to move out. Apparently I wasn't a nice person. But that's a good switch. That's a good switch. I'm going to commit to acts of kindness and things during Lent. That's a good thing.
I agree. I mean, I've done the try to give up sweets type of thing, but it's like, I was talking to somebody the other day. It's like, at the end of the day, Jesus really doesn't care if you gave up a cookie. He cares about love your neighbor.
Right. We had a singer a week ago, and Catherine, and she said for Lent, she is finding something kind to say about every person she meets.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice.
I was trying to do that. It lasted about an hour.
It didn't even last that long. Come on.
So, Father Tom Hurley is here. You know him from all those years at Old St. Pat's, doing great work at Marist now and great work everywhere he goes. And we'll continue in just a moment. We continue on a Big 89 WLS. It's an Andre today. Andre, you have any thoughts, questions, answers? You need want to confess anything to Father Tom?
I have a lot of questions. I don't think I'm ready to confess live on the air.
All right.
Not just yet, anyway. Okay. I do have a question. A very good friend of mine, female, majored in theology. So she's going, actually, she's still going for her doctorate in theology, and wanted to, just always loved religion and just the history of religion, and wanted to, of course, dedicate her life and her career to God, but can't go any further than really getting a master's because she can't, officiate or be a Catholic priest, if you will, or Catholic pastor. Is it getting better for women who want to devote their lives to God or to Catholicism, to religion in general?
Female deacons.
Female deacons, exactly. I always had a hard time understanding why that would be a bad thing. Or a restriction.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's go
really
lighter.
Like going to the
for
jugular,
second half.
don't you? At 8:00 in the morning. Wow.
I got the Cardinals online too, listening.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let me just say a couple things. Number one is that yes, this is one of the things that is a hot button issue in terms of the ordination of women in the Catholic tradition. Something
and
that
other
right now
religions too. It's Orthodox. I mean, it's most religions, I would think.
True.
Many religions.
I do know that one thing. The Pope had his synod back in October and gathered people from around the globe in the Catholic community and others as well. And that was one of the issues that I know is really being talked about, particularly the women becoming deacons. And right now it doesn't look like it's going to go that way, but it's something that I think a lot of women who are passionate about it continue to keep pushing on the agenda with the Pope today and in the church. And I think that would be a good thing. But the one thing I would say, Andrea, is that, again, you look around at most places, and again, I'm going to go back to my experience at Old St. Pat's, is that, the vast majority of the people on the staff were females, were women.
Yeah.
And these were bright, talented, energetic women.
Right.
And most folks would tell you that you go to most, at least Catholic parishes, the vast majority are women who are leading the charge.
Right. Running things behind the scenes.
So I'm
absolutely.
the dope who's ordained, and I do, I can do the sacramental stuff, but really, the energy is really coming from so many of just the fantastic women.
Yeah, and asking women who are deeply faith-based to just live their life through volunteerism or a level in the church where they can't advance can squash the fire. And that's not fair either. Look, I know this isn't about politics with you, but I was thinking of you this week with the Stacey Davis Gates $50 billion thing, and of course the child tax credit for donations made in regards to putting your kid in Catholic school. I mean, a direct impact on the Catholics in the city.
Huge. I mean, detrimental. I mean, God bless Bruce Rauner when he initiated this, and we had this tax credit for kids, and people were able to make donations, into a pot and get a 75% tax break, and then poor families that wanted to send their kids make the choice to send their kids where they felt their kids should go to school, like maybe one of our Catholic schools. And we do a great job, and our kids read and test and can add and subtract all at the right level. We have a product that works. And now all of a sudden, it's like, boom, it's gone. And they let it sunset on December 31st, and now it's gone. And I think it's a terrible crime to families, and particularly families that need the help. They need the financial help, in order to come. Our schools aren't free, as we know.
But this notion that it's nothing but rich folks putting kids in Catholic school.
It's nonsense.
It is nonsense.
Total nonsense. I can tell you right now at Marist High School, 60% of our families apply for some form of financial aid.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was not the case when I was there, almost 40 years ago. But it's like, so we have families of all, and that's in all of our schools. We're diverse. We're diverse communities, all of our schools. Folks with means who can pay the full tuition bill and those that can't, but yet they still have the same passion and vision. They want this faith-based education, and they're getting a great education, and we're forming not only intellects, but we're forming souls. And it's like, why can't we do that?
Well,
and why can't we get the help? Why can't they receive money that is entitled to them, just like kids in public schools or families in public schools?
Generational impact of
but
that.
But this $50 billion, I mean, oh my gosh.
I know.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it's not quite.
Can we just have $1 billion?
Same.
How about you take $49 billion and 3 cents?
Yeah.
And we'll take $1 billion. Okay?
Yeah, just the one.
I bet the Cardinal will be very happy.
Tom?
I wanted to ask this because I've noticed a lot more of my friends have been, it's kind of the stereotype of the lapsed Catholic. They go away for a while, we're doing our own thing, and then we get to adulthood and realize that we sort of miss the camaraderie of it all, the ritual, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I've got friends who are baptizing their newborn children into the faith, they're getting married in the faith, but there's a sense of fear that maybe they've been away too long. They don't remember, the Apostles' Creed. They have a tough time remembering when to sit, stand, and kneel. So what would you tell a young person who's maybe wasn't a Catholic before or was previously a Catholic and wanted to come back to church? What would you tell them to help them get over that initial awkwardness or fear?
Take this the right way. How do I do it? My best accent. Don't worry about it.
I like that.
Don't worry about it.
That's good.
Godfather.
Hey.
Don't worry about it. It's serious. It's like, tell them, please come back. I believe in my heart of hearts that the Lord Jesus was not, is not going to be saying, hey, where were you during those young adult years? Where'd you go? What'd you do? It's like the story of the prodigal son. The father didn't run out and say, well, where'd you go? What'd you do? And how'd you spend all that money? How'd you waste it away? He went out and threw a ring on him and sandals on his feet and a robe around him and killed the fatted calf and said, let's go, let's party, you're back. Right. That's all I care about. Mm-hmm. So tell your friends. Yeah, and we know this. There are folks that drift. I see it. I see it in terms of the high school, and then they're going to drift away a little bit more in college and in their young adult years. And that's the thing that drives me nuts is that when, people like with weddings and stuff or folks, oh, we don't like doing weddings or whatever. It's like, are you kidding me? Weddings are such a great opportunity because you got vastly young adults. And this is a great opportunity to invite them back and they want to come back. And then, and they might drift away after the wedding, but here comes a baby. So the baptism, and then they're going to move into a community and they want to get engaged in the parish. And then all these young families, get connected. And and our Catholic schools are important. Schools are a great source of bringing people together, bringing people back. So, tell your friends, don't worry about it, please.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. The door's always open.
Listen, let me go talk to the guy upstairs. He'll take care of it.
And I believe you'd say this as well. A friend of yours is a friend of ours.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got
Friend in need is a friend indeed.
Yeah.
I've got to be careful. We're getting too close to the movie. We're getting close to Easter. I hope you'll come back to do a blessing for us as we do.
Be delighted.
And it's great to see you. God bless you.
Always good to
all
be
the
here.
good work you do.
You guys are great friends.
Thank you,
Thanks
Father.
so much.